Great question. Vincent Nicotino wants to know, how do you know how to hear the right frequencies in a mix so that you can learn how to get the right sound?
The short answer, and then I'll expand on it, is develop a workflow that involves a lot of subtractive thinking.
Yeah.
Because really you can boost stuff and get it to be more exciting pretty easily. But to find problematic things and to learn to reduce that will develop your ear much more extensively. So really a big part of it is, I always love when I'm having problems to go and sort of do a search and destroy method of, boosting with a parametric EQ and going finding, oh, wow, that
was going to be my answer.
That kind of sucks.
Because you can sit down and look at the numbers.
Yeah.
In theory, I mean, you and I could look at the numbers now because we're experienced and we know what the numbers sound like. But and you have a day, it will come to you almost like as an epiphany one day. You go, oh, now I get it. And then you start really perfecting how you tune your ears to it. But sweeping an EQ on every instrument is the greatest way to learn.
Yeah, and then once you kind of find that, and for me, since I do this all the time, like I'm one of those people that if you played me a note on the piano, I'd hunt for it on the guitar. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But because, I've spent a lot more time doing this than this the last few years, I can kind of, I do a ton of mastering for people all over the world. I can pop up a mix and just hear and go, oh, yeah, problem right around 700 hertz. And 100, because I do that all the time.
Do you use any of the mix comparison software that's out there?
I don't. And I don't want to dismiss those, but I do reference other things a lot, and that's actually such a powerful way to learn, like whether you're mixing or doing your own DIY mastering, and if those comparison softwares help you do that efficiently, great. But one of the big things is how much, like if you're mastering your own thing and comparing it against some other, like your gold standards, spending the time, and because I do this all the time, I'm really fast at it, but I didn't come out of my mother that way. But you spend the time like going, what's going on in my mix that's not happening in that, or vice versa, and going back and forth. And most of the time, the problem is that thinking subtractively is a skill set you develop. Our natural tendency...
It's counterintuitive.
Yeah. Our natural tendency, because you put up your thing that you just mixed and compare it to a major label album that you love, almost certainly it's usually going to be...
It'll make you cry.
Yeah, but it'll be like, oh, wow, that's so much like... brighter, and the low end so much more powerful. So immediately you want to go and start boosting the high end. And what's usually going on is that your mix has too much of something. Yeah. And when you can really learn to go back and forth, going, what's going on?
Are you talking too much of a frequency or too much of an instrument?
I'm thinking like in the mastering stage where our mix is done.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing, like usually like a lot of kind of honky low mid range.
Yeah.
A lot of mixes naturally have too much of that, or too much sort of nasaliness in the vocal and guitar range.
It's the most beautiful thing to understand and the most dangerous to learn how to do, because you're 100% right. I was telling you, I was tuning my car stereo the other day, and it's got a parametric EQ, and I think it went 100, 200, 500, 1K, 2.5. Fairly standard. But man, oh man, the 200 and 500 on that car, and it's amazing. If I took 500 hertz down like 2 dB, I don't think I hear anything. But if I brought it up to, I really heard it. Mm-hmm. So I brought it down to, and then brought it down like another 32nd of an inch and left it alone. Yeah. Because if you take too much of 500 or 750 or 1,000, let's stick with 500 and 750, even 200. It almost always sounds better taking it out, but you very quickly get to a point where you've lost the balls.
Yes, exactly. But it's that thing when you find where there's too much buildup in your thing you're working on, and you start pulling that out, all of a sudden your high end feels more exciting. Your low end feels more powerful because you've gotten rid of that excessive buildup in the middle. That's usually where it is. I mean, sometimes it's on the low end, sometimes it's on the high end, but it really is amazing. And again, if AB software helps you do it, go for it.
I've never tried any, but I've heard two people I trust, whose judgment I trust, tell me that they use it. They're both taxi members, and they both do it to make their cues sound like records.
Yeah. And the only reason I don't use it is that I've got a workflow that allows me to do essentially exactly what they're doing.
Well, you've also got like 20-some or 30 years experience.
But I'm still
These are guys that just really learned how to be good engineers 3 to 5 years ago.
Yeah, but a lot of this, you should never worry about that, because some days I walk into the studio, I'm like, I'm really good at this. And I sit down and I'm confident, I'm doing great work. And there's other days I walk into the studio and like, man, somebody's going to catch on that I'm a complete fraud and have no idea what I'm doing.
Everybody goes through
that. And you're thinking, I have no idea what to do with this, and I'll go and like listen to records I know and love just to kind of reorient me and go, okay, this is where you are. This is the direction. And, because one of the things is, that self-doubt can kind of throw you way out of whack. Mm-hmm. And then going back and go, okay, this is where I am related to these mixes that I know and love really well. Okay, good. Yeah, I know. But I do it. I still, with thousands of credits under my belt, I still, when I walk in the studio, also even a lot of times, because I do such like incredibly diverse stuff. Like in the last couple of weeks, I've worked on projects from Japan, Peru, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Italy, and the United States, and things like that. So even in that kind of thing where I was mixing something, asking the producer like, so what's hot in the Democratic Republic of Congo right now? Again, why we love streaming services.
Warlords.
Yeah, but
the Warlords. I love that band.
But it's that thing where we might think, Democratic Republic of Congo, that's African, that's going to be all about like these natural drums and all of that. That's actually not what's hot. And Democratic Republic of Congo is very much more synthetic kind of feeling percussion and stuff right now. So for me mixing something, I kind of want to know, okay, what's hot? How are they feeling? These intentionally artificial drums against the more organic elements and things like that. So really listening to other stuff as a student,
it's a must.
You
can't be a race car driver if you don't start out with go-karts and watch what other drivers are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all, almost all of us who are lucky to do this day in and day out are still doing it. We're all still students because we got to keep our things, but also we got to know what's going on in terms of trends and informing our own creative work.
It's so fun and fascinating. I don't even do it. I haven't done it in a very long time. And just literally before you got it, I threw it in the recycling bin. But I was reading, Sound on Sound magazine cover to cover because I love this stuff.
Yeah.